There was a night where they couldn't, the curfew was where Dad couldn't go home. So they had to sleep at Mom's apartment. And so Mom, everybody said, okay, we're gonna sleep all together.
There was a revolution.
And Nunma was in the middle of the whole uprising. Nunma was lost her mind. Because it was against like they're gonna go to hell, you know, Dad was 19, is gonna spend the same,
sleeping under the same roof.
in the same room.
Unmarried.
Here it is, people are getting shot and everything else. She's just freaking out about that.
You have no idea that the tension. So I already have left my home, our apartment, because the secret police missed me. And I went over to my sister's apartment and called up Nana to say that I'm going to the West tomorrow. Are you coming? And she says, yes. I mean, it was that quick. So I went over to my sister's, and I thought I'd better go up and see her. And
How old are you guys?
I was 19 and a half, and she was 17 and something. And very beautiful. And we had a very platonic relationship by, you know, any standards. So, you know, I go up, and in this big room, there was Chilla, Magdi Neni, that's your grandmother, Tibor Baci there, and Mikol, who was a little girl with a big nose.
He said Chilla's boyfriend, Fritzy or whatever. Was it?
No, there's no, Fritzy. Not that,
No, not that.
no, it was just family, and I go up, and my presence, and I know that the next morning she's leaving with me, and she told Tibor Baci, but not her mother. And for some reason, I have a feeling that Chilo knew, but not Mikko. And we are sitting around in this big room, and Mikko, who's 9 or 10 years old, says, I want to have a bread and butter or something. And my little Nana,
My name wasn't Nana.
Enid Pritchard, she says, I am tired or something, because she was waxing the floor all day long, and
That's what you do.
That's your time, okay, you're telling.
I mean, the floor, the parquet floor had to be
We wanted
polished.
to surprise my
They were
daughter.
trying, yeah, they didn't tell him, they were trying to surprise, I have this written in the thing. They were trying to surprise Magdalene, Nudmama, who was out. Mom said, we're gonna clean the house. Chilla decided she had a headache and wanted to read. So Mom ended up cleaning the house. The Mom was in a horrible mood. She comes home, Magdalene comes home and just starts
She's
yelling.
a 17-year-old girl.
You just told me that Mom, Nudmama just started getting upset with you and you're like, I just cleaned this whole house.
They had to do it. I mean,
She was just mad at Mom. So Mom was like, I do everything, I take care of it. Miko's whining for this. Chilla doesn't help
She
me.
wants a piece of bread and butter.
Dad walks in right when they're just...
Now, I am sitting there, and Magdalene is across on the other side of the room, and she says, why don't you? And she jumps up and starts moving in the direction of Nana, Pritchard, Enid, and raises her arm to slap her. And here I am,
No, because I said, why didn't she make her own? She was 11 years old.
Yeah. Anyway, so here I am,
Anyway, why are we talking about this?
and because everybody's
I've never heard
interested.
this.
I am, yes.
Please
We're
don't
waiting.
stop.
Stop
Please
it.
So-
add to it.
I have to answer she's the boss.
Mother, keep going.
So here is Magdalene coming to slap her, and I jump up and I grab her hand. Because I just couldn't see her being slapped around while I'm there. So Magdalene looks at me, she says, "Who are you? What are you? Who are you?" to her. Well, what could I say? I mean, we don't have a concept of girlfriend, boyfriend in Hungary. I was no fiancé, I was nobody. But at the same time, everybody knew that I was not going to do anything other than maybe hold her hand. So then she gets very upset and turns around and retreats to the other room to start sewing. Like your mom. And Tibor Bácsi, and comes up to me. He says, "Boy, you got a problem." If I were you, I would go and apologize. So I thought, well, I really had no choice, even though I knew we were leaving in the morning at 5 o'clock. And so I go to the door, I knock on the door, and I go in, and here she is with a sewing machine, and doing something. So a ladylike moment. In the stress, you do something. And so I go in, I say, well, I'm very sorry of my sort of intervention and behavior. And I didn't have to say too many things, because then she took over and she started telling me things about Nana that I'm not going to repeat because I never believed it then.
It's the first time you hear it.
And because she was the love of my life, And a mother will say things, especially when a stranger interferes. So it ended up that we became friendly because Tibor Bácsi was correct. You have to, eat dirt if you have to and apologize, even though you are not terribly guilty. But I ended up really liking both of them. And
within half an hour, I find you and my mother out in the kitchen making Venus, not rochelle. We're frying potato.
well,
French fries?
It's rochelle, it's the thin
Scallop?
French fries.
What I was referring to,
She was
Dad,
making supper for
the
them.
night that I was referring to, I don't know if you guys heard this story, and I don't know when it was the night that Dad had to spend the night in your apartment.
Oh, yeah,
No, that was
because
earlier.
that was-
That's what I was referring to, because I don't think they
No.
know that story. Chilla was there with Fritz, and there was
Fritz.
shooting and everything going on.
That
And
was when the Russians.
and Nupperton was
November
saying,
the
we all
4th.
need to just sleep by the wall, because that's the safest place to sit. And Mark and Nudmama refused, because she was horrified that Nuppaja was gonna allow Dad and Fritz to spend the night there. And Nuppaja was saying, there's no other alternative, because they can't go out.
Kids
about to die.
Yeah, and so
Because most
she,
of the people went down to the room.
so she took Mihineni, who was 11, down to the cellar that was freezing, and said, well, I'm not gonna sleep up here with you people who are, you know, going to hell because of this.
It was a coal cellar, which is
So he made
mounds of
them
coal.
down there.
And she took down some Persian rugs. And Mikkel, who was 10
She was
years old.
Screaming the entire time, yelling.
And
at
she
them.
would put the Persian rugs and level the coal. And they spent the night down in the basement.
She insisted that they come with her, and Nuppaja's like, I'm staying up here where it's warm.
And
We're gonna sleep up here.
it wasn't a bad warm, it was, we spent, so the rest of us, Chilla, Mikkel went downstairs, Fritzi, Enid, and I. We spent, you know, the rest of the evening in the inner part of the apartment.